All right, so we'll get started. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us on our second LinkedIn session. Today, we're going to be talking about LinkedIn and creating your profile and minor networking strategies as well. We're going to go over a PowerPoint slide on how to create your profile, and then I'll walk you through my actual profile on LinkedIn and walk you through how to make edits and such. And if you have any questions, this will be recorded as well, and we can share this with you. But if you would like to be connected with a coach to get feedback on your LinkedIn and how it looks, please feel free to let us know, and we'll connect you with one of them. Okay, great. Can everyone hear me? Am I good? Okay, cool.
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you, Esmeralda. Okay, so can people see this slide here? I hope so. Can people see the slide? Esmeralda, nod, yeah?
Yes, I can.
Okay, awesome, yes. Thank you. I'm not able to see everyone.
See and hear you, yes.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, so LinkedIn. I hope you have heard at least about what LinkedIn is. Today, we want to talk to you about your profile checklist, communicating on LinkedIn, and how to network on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is your professional network. You should all have that regardless of your major or whether you're looking for a job or not. It's a great way to maintain those relationships that you'll create throughout your college career, even in your workforce as well. And it's essentially a Facebook but professional. Everything that you put on your LinkedIn is professional. As far as a profile checklist goes, your profile picture should be a picture that is a headshot. Crop your photo from your shoulders just above your head. Wear what you would wear to work, but if anything, just keep it business casual for sure. Make sure you choose a background that is not distracting, so a neutral color would be fine. And if you don't have a LinkedIn yet, I recommend just taking a photo on your computer, or maybe have a friend or someone you're living with take a photo of you and just use it as your profile photo. It's important to make sure that it's public. You make it public. It defaulted to be only for your connections, so I'll show you how to make sure that it's visible to everyone, even though you may not be connected. And then the next thing is your headline. Your headline should describe what you're currently doing and what you hope to do in the future. So for example, you could be an economics major and aspiring to be a financial analyst. Or you could be, say, a senior marketing major looking to go into market research, for example. So we can work with you on that, but it should be concise and short. Your summary section is a great place to put your elevator pitch. So this really brings your voice to your profile. Again, you want to be very concise. Don't have too many words in it, and even be a little creative if you can. Speak about your qualifications and your goals. So for example, we have here Mercy College student majoring in marketing with an interest in advertising and social media, seeking a summer internship to apply my skills. Or if you already aren't working, you can say currently working in career services, looking to expand my skills in recruiting or something like that, depending on what you want to do. Again, if you are an undergraduate student, use this space to put your elevator pitch. So what you've done, maybe you have 5 years of experience in customer service, you're proficient in Excel. These are things you can add to this summary. But again, keep it concise as well. Okay, then we have your experience section. This experience section lists your professional experience in a reverse chronological order. Similar to your resume, how it's supposed to be in reverse chronological order, LinkedIn does the same. So the most recent thing is up top, and the older things are in the bottom. Make sure you put it in the exact name of the company so it links to the company page. So I'll show you how to do that as well. And make your profile accomplishment oriented when appropriate. If possible, include the impact of what you did, not just what your responsibilities are. So if you helped increase attendance at events, maybe by 10%, you can talk about the marketing strategies that you helped implement to do so. All right. The next thing should be education. I see a couple of you just joined, so thank you so much for joining us today. I'll be going over more in detail. I'll share my screen with you and walk you through these sections as well, but this is just a quick overview about your LinkedIn account. So your education section should be definitely Mercy College, and it should be up to date. There's a section there that you can add clubs, like just under summary. You can, if you're part of any clubs, you can add it there as well. And then you have the volunteer experience. So if you're involved in any clubs or you do any volunteer opportunities outside of school or part of the school, you can list those there. Then we have featured skills and endorsements. So you want to add the most relevant and strongest skills in this section. And your connections can actually start to endorse you in these skills, which is really exciting. And to me, this is, it shows to employers as well that you have more credibility. So say you are into data analysis or you're into public speaking, people, your friends, colleagues, people you may have worked with in the past can endorse you on these skills. And the more endorsements you get, the stronger and more credible your profile becomes. And then you have other categories such as honors and awards and projects and so on. Okay. So I'm gonna go over how to communicate on LinkedIn. And again, this is just a very basic level, but if you're already working or you're just starting to create your profile, feel free to, again, reach out to us and we can have a more in-depth discussion about how to go over this as well. Because I know it can be intimidating at first if you don't know how to put yourself out there to employers, alumni, and so on. So always be professional. Proofread is so important, especially because with your LinkedIn accounts, you will have, I recommend not having the premium unless you're into recruitment. Therefore, you kind of need to have a premium account, which is paid. So I recommend just sticking to the free version. So if you have the free version, you have a limit character words that you can send messages with, but it's about, I think, 300 characters. So you have to be very, very concise. So just always be sure to proofread and tailor each connection request. You want to research the person before reaching out. That just means go onto their profile, see where they've worked. Maybe you can find something in common. Maybe they have the same major as you do. Maybe they're an alum, or maybe you volunteer at the same company that you volunteer at as well. Make sure to also reach out to people at the right level. So you may not want to necessarily connect to the VP of with the VP of a company, but rather a recruiter or someone who's on an entry-level position. They're more likely to get back to you if that's the case, because someone who's in a more higher level may not always have the time, not because they don't want to, but they're very busy with their schedule. So maybe just try to reach out to people in the right level. And keep your messages short. Again, this is kind of, you're kind of forced to keep them short, but be very succinct, so to the point. And always say thank you. All right, so networking. So connecting, it's especially if you're just starting out, I recommend connecting with your friends, connecting with family members, peers, colleagues, people you worked closely with in projects in the past. And present and past supervisors. When making these connections, I'll show you how to go about creating those personalized messages. They're more likely to get back to you and accept those requests if you have if you send a tailored message. And you have the ability to follow companies and stay informed of news and potential openings. You can have alerts set up to do that. And companies can see that you're engaged and you follow them, and maybe you comment on articles that they post and you share and so on. Another thing you can do is request recommendations from previous supervisors if you have a good relationship with them or have had a good relationship with them. This just, again, makes your profile more complete. On LinkedIn, you also have an option of joining groups. If I see a couple of you are alum, which is great. There's a Mercy alumni group that you can request to join, and you can start joining groups like that. Or maybe if you're into, say, into accounting, there's accounting groups that you can join, or any other groups that you're interested in, you can request to join. Some may be more, may require specific criteria, so they may vet you before accepting the request, but I recommend just kind of searching for groups to join and comment on articles and posts that they are updating. But remember to always keep away from divisive topics like politics or religion. So for introductions, you may want to connect with people that work at your targeted companies. And if one of your connections is connected with them, you may want to ask for a connection, for an introduction for that for that company. So say you want to work at NBC Universal, and you go to that company page and you see that you have a co-worker that works there. You can always apply to a position there and ask for a referral, or just ask to be connected to maybe have a coffee chat to see what their experience is like and how you can stand out in the application process. It's an ongoing process, and it's not just like a linear networking strategies. You always have to, it's a case by case a lot of the times. But again, as long as you're willing to kind of just step out of your comfort zone and connect with employers and alum and different people, more often than not, people are always willing to listen to you and ask and provide you with advice, granted that you're asking politely and being flexible. Another way to network is passive networking. Often you'll get notifications similar to how you get notifications on Instagram or Facebook of people liking your photos and stuff like that, or it's someone's birthday. LinkedIn does the same when people have work anniversaries or even birthdays as well. So you can always just, if it's someone's birthday and it was someone you worked with several years ago, just shoot them a message and say, happy birthday, hope you're doing well. Or if it's someone's anniversary, sending personalized messages saying something like, congrats, this is a great accomplishment, hope you're doing well. Stuff like that helps you stand out, and again, it helps you maintain and establish those relationships. And you also have the opportunity to endorse your connections in the skills section. So it's kind of an unspoken rule. If someone endorses you, they're more likely to endorse you back on skills. You do have to go to the person's profile, and towards the bottom, you'll see the skills section. And I'll show you how to do that as well, but just endorse as many people as you can with the proper skills if you have worked with them in the past. And then you can always ask them to endorse you back as well. Okay. So if you're sending a personalized message to someone you've never met before, these are samples, so you can feel free to screenshot these and tailor them. I'm not gonna repeat these verbatimly, but just keep these in your record if it makes it easier for you to formulate these messages. We have a template for that, and someone from your past, so someone you've worked in projects before, maybe a coworker you used to work with, or your supervisor or something like that. And someone you know, so current classmate or current colleague. This is how you should formulate your messages. Okay. Does anyone have any questions about anything that I just talked about? No?
Actually, I had a question really quick, Gina. I don't know if you know what the protocol for joining a group on LinkedIn is, but if it's not maybe part of your organization or your school and you want to join, do you have any advice or tips on what the protocol might be and who you would reach out to?
Yeah, typically you're able to see who the administrators for those groups are. A lot of them are to an extent exclusive, the private ones are, but for like honor societies, so if you're in the business beta delta mu delta honor society, if you're inducted, you can request to join, and it may take a few days, but the administrators will have a way to kind of figure out who's part of that. Other more open ones, you have to look at the summary and kind of who belongs to what, and if you're able to join those groups. You can always just send a request, and if you don't join, nothing really happens, but that's why it's important to be part of honor societies or any clubs or any volunteer organizations. Sometimes they have alumni groups for them as well, but it varies.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. So,
Gina?
Yeah.
Oh, it's me, Shannon. Hi, we have a question.
Yes.
Can you go back in your presentation to the colleague slide where you're showing the proposed language to connect with a colleague? Yep, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, and this, yes?
Oh, nothing. I was going to comment on something before while the person looked at this, but go ahead. I'll say it at the end.
Yeah, no, these are just personalized messages tailored to what you're doing, what you're trying to ask for from the person that you're trying to connect with. Never take it personally if you connect with someone and they don't get back to you. It's most likely not you. It's just the volume of work that they have to do, or they're just not their network is essentially their net worth. So they may not necessarily connect with people who can bring them businesses or some clientele. So never take it personally. Always just be polite and open-minded. And more often than not, like I said, people are willing to just provide you advice. And if you're just always have the ask, like, what are you trying to get from this message? Are you trying to have a 10-minute conversation with them? Then ask for that. Ask that and just be flexible as well with them. And especially now, with everything going on now more than ever, you should be doing these coffee chats with alumni, colleagues. Maybe you find someone who has worked at the company or is working at the company that you want to work in. Ask for advice on how you can how you can better prepare yourself to stand out in the application process. If you were to just do that, you're more likely to establish that relationship than if you were just to upfront just ask for a job, or Okay. Let's see another message. Could you? Okay, great. Of course. Okay. All right. So, in addition to using Handshake, Indeed, and other online job boards, the team recommends using LinkedIn to find a job or internship. But before doing so, we highly suggest that your profile is updated before you start applying for any openings. It's easy to just make these changes, and if you have the app, you can always constantly be updating it, and you should be. Your needs may change, what you're looking for may change throughout the time you've had LinkedIn, so always be updating it. And again, schedule time to be with your career coach to review your profile. We're always happy to help. Okay, so now I'm going to go to LinkedIn. I'm going to start from the beginning. Again, feel free to follow, or I'm going to walk you through the basic stuff here, and then just jump in. You can talk or send a message on chat. But To set it up at first, I recommend using a desktop. Phone can be a little tricky just because it's not hard, but you want to make sure that everything's correct at first. So your photo should be public. So you go to your profile picture here. You go to visibility, make sure that it's not only your connections or your network, make sure it's public so everyone can see it. The reason I say this is because if you have it on any other of these settings, it's not going to show your headshot at all. So you want to make sure you do that. And your headshot doesn't have to be professionally taken, it just has to look professional, and you have to look professional. Say you never wear glasses, so you wear contacts or whatever, wear contacts in the photo. If you always wear glasses, just look like how you actually look. Sometimes employers like to see that as well. A cool trick that LinkedIn came up with a few weeks ago is that you can actually have, especially with names like mine where it can be a little tricky to say, you can actually record your name. So this feature is only available to be recorded on your phone. So if you have your phone, you go to your settings, and then you click on the edit button here, and you'll have a feature or an option to say record. You can't do it on the desktop, but it'll give you an option to record your name. So for example, I'm not sure, let's see, maybe I can how do I do this?
And Gina, this is so others know how it's pronounced, right?
Yeah, so if you have a complicated last name or you just want people to pronounce your name correctly, you can do that as well. So people click that and you can hear that. So that's a cool feature that they added recently. Okay, so every time you see the blue pencil, that's where you can edit things. You can add profile sections by clicking here. So you can have an intro, an about, background, work experience, education, certifications and licenses, and volunteer experience. All you do is just click on them and you can add new things. Before I get there, I do also want to highly recommend everyone edits their LinkedIn URL. So when I copy this, say, into a Word document, this should be put on your resume if it's relevant. Can everyone see this Word document? I'm not sure, but your URL should be.
No, we still see just your screen.
Yeah, we can't see it.
Oh, okay. So this is.
Now we can.
So once you have your contact information, oops. Okay, that's not what I wanted. Okay. Typically your URL has originally has a bunch of numbers, but after you edit it, it should just be your first and last name. And if you have a common last name, you can always just add a random number. But I recommend editing that. And the way you do that is by clicking edit profile and URL right here. Click on the pencil right here and just deleting the numbers that come after that usually, and just click save. And it looks more polished as well. So when you're applying to jobs, oftentimes they'll ask you if you have a website or a URL that you want to add, and you can just include that as well. Okay, so your about section is here, and this is essentially my elevator pitch. I've been in higher education and how I received my MBA and what I'm passionate about and the population that I like to work with. So it's just good to have a summary there. It doesn't have to be this long, but it could be a couple sentences long as well, describing your credentials as well. Okay, so experience. Actually, I'm going to start with education at the bottom, because that's more relevant for everyone. You can add a section here. So say you're getting your master's or you're just starting from the beginning. What I mean by making sure that you have a company that's verified here, it's this. So Mercy College, and it'll create the logo here for you. And you want to spell out your full degree title. So if you're getting, does someone want to tell me what their degree is so I can give a good relevant example?
Bachelor of Arts.
Bachelor of Arts in what?
In science and psychology.
Very nice. So you can do Bachelor of Arts. Be careful that it's a bachelor. I think it's a Bachelor of Science, right? Bachelor of Science. So you do that,
Mhm.
and field of study would be psychology.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Be a Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science are slightly different. So if you're not sure, you can always just Google Mercy College psychology program and just look it up. And it'll tell you, oh, I should probably say, yeah, Mercy College. And it'll tell you there. It's a BS, so it's a Bachelor of Science. Okay, so you do that, and then you put the start year and when you're expected to get your degree. And then your grade is your GPA. You can always say you're a senior, have a 3.2 GPA. Or if you just want to keep your GPA there, that's fine as well. So you have options of putting your year and your GPA, but that just means you have to constantly be changing your year as time progresses as well. And here you can add the activities you have done. So say you were a mentor at Big Brother, Big Sister, or you volunteer at the math market, or at your local food pantry. You can add stuff like that here, like volunteer at math market. This is an option. You can keep listing things that you've done, or you can add it in a section on LinkedIn later on, which I'll show you. And you have the option of sharing it with your network, so they'll get notified, and that's how you start getting your name out there, and they'll see that accomplishment. And what else? So that's education. So with this, you can kind of change it around as well. This little sandwich here means that you can change things around. Keep it reverse chronological, so the most recent thing up top. And then the first thing that shows after your about section is going to be your experience. And you want to be sure that, again, some companies may not have a LinkedIn account, so therefore you may not, like your company may not necessarily be verified, but you can still write the company name here. Make sure grammar is correct and everything's spelled correctly. So you can add bullet points that you have on your resume to your LinkedIn. But the nice thing about LinkedIn is that there's no limit to how many things you write. So just a little FYI, you aren't able to just randomly add bullet points. So you can just copy and paste it from your resume and edit it there. Okay. Another thing, say you volunteered at, or you were an intern or a student worker, and you wrote a blog or you did a presentation, you can actually add and feature those presentations or articles that you were featured on here, which is really cool. You click either upload if you wanted to upload a document, a PowerPoint, and a Word document, or a link, and you can paste it here, add it, and save it. So for example, I created this blog, and so it links it to that. And so when employers or recruiters are looking at your resume, they'll see that you're doing this, and it just shows more social presence and professionalism as well. And it shows that you've done things as well, which is good. Any questions with setting this up? It's not difficult. Don't get intimidating. It's a lot of details and it can be intimidating at times, but just take your time and make sure that everything's filled out, all the sections are filled out, and it'll be okay. Okay. So now moving to licenses and certifications. So for those, I see some familiar faces that attended the Get Hired Bootcamp. So you got a badge. You can add it here. So say, because it's a part of a certification, you could say Get Hired Bootcamp certification or badge. And whenever you get your certification, you can always, well, not here, but you can just kind of have it like that, or you can do certifications, or just put that it was through Mercy College as well. All right. If you were CPR First Aid certified, or if you're Excel certified, or Bloomberg Marketing Concept certified, you should definitely add that here. It shows that you're active and you're doing things to increase and enhance your skill set. And then same thing with volunteer experience. You can just edit that and add sections. So say you volunteer at the food market. I believe that the math market is on LinkedIn. Mercy, thought it was, but it would be something like the Mercy Math Market, and then put volunteer and what you did. Okay. Any questions? So I'm going to move to my favorite part, which is skills and endorsements. So to start, you just click on add new skill. So I am, who wants to participate? Esmeralda, want to be, so what are some of your skills? Excel.
What critical thinking?
Critical thinking. Okay, so say that's one of your skills, and also it's important for the job or the industry you're looking to go into. You would click, for example, critical thinking, and then click add. I'm going to do this just as a trial, but it would show here. And see, when I first started my profile when I was in college, I added so many things. So definitely just keep it concise and keep it relevant to what you're looking for. And you can actually move them around. You can only highlight your top 3 skills, but if you wanted to say, okay, I don't want to highlight career development, I want to highlight student affairs, you can do that. Or you can also move things around to, this is what people have, what people see it when they look at your profile, what is visible to them right away. And so I know someone, for example, endorsed me. So someone endorsed me in event planning. So I would say thanks, but I can also go to their profile and I can also go to their profile and endorse them. So do that. I would endorse her on that. Or I know she's a college friend, so I would like do grassroots organizing because I know she did a lot of that as well. So notice how there's not that many people that endorsed her, but the more you keep endorsing people back and forth, the more likes you get, or the more endorsements you get, and the more, the stronger your profile looks as well. So it takes time to accrue all of that, but it looks really good on the profile. And then the recommendation section. We have a question. That's okay. Recommendations. You can, if you work with people and they can recommend you, like your supervisor or someone you've worked with on projects with, you can ask them to recommend you. You can also give people recommendations as well. So you can ask for a recommendation. So say I'm going to ask Joy for a recommendation. Select a relationship. So Joy manages me directly. And I would like go about asking her that and tailor those recommendations. And if you want, if you want them to include something specifically, make sure to address that here as well. Okay. All right. And then accomplishments is another section you can add. It could be languages you speak, organizations you're part of, If you're part of the dean's list, president's list, all that, you can add that here. You can follow companies, follow influencers, follow leaders, public speakers. There's a plethora of things you can do here with as far as like following people and connecting with employers as well. Okay, any questions with the setting up the profile section? Okay. I am going to move to jobs. So jobs is the job section here on LinkedIn is robust and really easy to navigate. So say you're looking for, I don't know, finance advisor roles, finance advisor. You would click finance advisor and do it by location. So say you're looking for Stanford, and then click search. There's all these positions that come up, and the reason why I love LinkedIn so much is because you're able to see which of your connections work there. So say I was very interested in this financial advisor role. I would look at my connections and see, okay, these are the people that I know that work there. So I can send them a message and say, for example, Vanessa. And I did a campus tour with her once with a group of Mercy students, and I would email her or message her directly here and say, hi Vanessa, I hope you're doing well. I see that this role was opened up at Bank of America, and I was wondering if you have any tips for me on how to stand out on the application process. Or could we have a quick phone call to discuss any strategies that you recommend for me to stand out in the application process? Best case scenario, they sent you, or they tell you that you're able to put them down as a reference, or they'll just say, hey, listen, you got to make sure your resume really is focusing on these skills. So you know that you have to edit your resume. So you're more likely to get picked up as well by applicant tracking systems and all that. Okay. And you could do all that and apply. You can do experience level. So if you want an internship, click internship, entry level, associate, mid. So these are the most relevant ones for you. And if financial advising is something you want to do, you can always get set up your profile so you get notified when these roles open up. So you can click on that, and then you'll get notified if you want it weekly or daily and how you want to be notified. Okay. All right. Another thing I wanted to show is finding alumni that work at the companies that you want to work in. So can someone text in the chat or unmute yourselves and say, provide me with the name of the company you want to work for, or any hospitals or anything like that? All right, I'm gonna.
Presbyterian.
You're Presbyterian. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure thing. So I would search the company name, which is that. And then I would certainly follow them, but you're going to go to people, type here Mercy College. You can go to, so you can see here what there's, where they live, where they studied. So 205 people that work in New York Presbyterian studied at Mercy. But the one thing you want to keep looking is make sure, so what they are skilled at, they have healthcare, hospitals, Microsoft Office. So these are skills, especially if you're in the health field, that you want to make sure are added to your resume. So this just enhances your resume or your LinkedIn profile, and you're more likely to be picked up or be seen by recruiters as well. Oh. All right. And so I can scroll down and see, all right, talent acquisition recruiter. A recruiter is someone you definitely want to contact, especially if you're looking for a job there. So I would look at her profile. It looks like I'm a second connection and she works at, or she at some point is connected to Mercy somehow. So she went to Mercy. She got her master's and bachelor's there. So I would connect with her. So be careful doing this on your phone, but that's why it's, in my opinion, a little safer to do it on your computer. You would click connect. And you can add a note. So you have a 300 character limit here. So you would say, hello, or hi, Shakira. I hope you're well. Something like, I came across your profile, or I see that you're a Mercy alum. I'm a recent Mercy graduate, and I'm interested in working at NYP. I would love to get some feedback on how I can apply for X and X position. So something like, I see you are a Mercy. I myself, or I just graduated in May, and I'm becoming, say, a registrar, for example, and came across I would love can you please provide me with some advice? Can you provide me with advice, please? Perfect. And so I'm at a limit there. So you're gonna want to get a little more concise and succinct here with your wording. So you can say, thank you, I look forward to talking to you. Maybe saying, you're already asking, I would love to get your input. So just say, I look forward to hearing back from you. So then you meet the qualifications of the 300 word limit. And you send the message, and more often than not, they will accept your message or accept your connection. And then you'll start a conversation with them. And again, if this is a hospital you really want to work for, take a look at the recruiter's page. Take a look at other people that are in the same industry as you're in or don't want to be in, and see what how they're editing their profiles, and make sure you're doing it the same way. And endorse people that you like, maybe people that you worked in teams before. You definitely don't want to endorse people on skills like that you don't know them, because it would be a little awkward. But definitely kind of take a look. Okay, so they have recruiting or onboarding or human resources, and they're in HR. So maybe if you're interested in HR, you should have those interests and those skills displayed there as well. All right. So that's how you go about doing that. On your phone, if you don't see connect, there typically are these 3 little buttons here, not necessarily more, but just the 3 buttons. You click on that, and then there's always a way that you can send personalized messages. If you were to just connect with her and send a note, it would just say, hi, I would get a notification saying, I get a bunch, so let's see. It would just be something like, sometimes it'll just say, Mark wants to connect with you. You can accept or ignore. So if people send personalized messages, they're more likely to have accept the connections as well. So that's basically it. Another cool feature is you can start a post. You can, if you're into video logging, you can add those videos here if they're professional or relevant. You can write articles. You can, again, like people's comments or engage with them as well. And then as far as groups go, I know people asked about that. You can look at, for example, I believe, so Mercy College alum. Mercy College. Hold on. you would look at groups and then just do Mercy College and see what comes up. There's Mercy College Business Honors, Mercy College School of Business, Mercy College MBA. So there's different groups that you can join as well here. Or if you're in Delta Mu Delta, for example, if you're a business or nursing, there are different groups. You just click on the category here that you want to search. Company, schools, groups, or events as well. Okay. Any questions? I'm gonna stop sharing right now. I hope you guys found this helpful. I do want to encourage you to schedule appointments with your career coaches if you have any questions. It's super easy to do that. You can just go to our website, career.mercy.edu. Under About Us, our team, we have our career coaches here. We're all working virtually and are available for anything through Zoom or phone calls. And you just click schedule appointment and go from there as well. Okay, this is my contact information here. All right, any questions? No, okay.
Thank you very much. That was
Of course, Esmeralda. Thanks for joining us.
thank you.
Of course.
Thank you, Gina.
Of course, and then we'll have another session next Wednesday as well. So make sure to attend that as well.
Yes. What are we covering? It is maximizing your network.
In your network.
More information on the networking portion of LinkedIn.
Perfect. Awesome. Of course, and thank you everyone for changing your names. This is very helpful for us. And again, it's an ongoing process. It's not something you sit and have it changed forever. It's going to constantly be changing. Same thing with your resume. It's a living document. Okay. All right. Thanks everyone.
Lovely. Yes. Thank you.
Thank
All right.
you. That's great.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Have a good afternoon.
You
Yes.
too.
Bye everyone.
Thank you. Bye.